Not only am I jeopardizing myself, I am jeopardizing both of us by not being smart and a leader in that regard. We are even more in danger if I go down than if I not go down.
You're hiding though. You're hiding.
So?
Like, you gotta try to protect your girl.
What?
Alright, what's going on, guys? So this is a video that I am so excited to make because this is probably going to cause some controversy. Maybe, you know, some of you guys are going to disagree with me, some of you guys are going to agree with me, but I am excited, bro. And just so we're clear, you are allowed to disagree with me, okay? You're allowed to make your own opinions on the situation. You don't instantly have to press dislike and leave a comment calling me a retard. You can actually hear out what I'm saying and leave a comment explaining why you either agree or disagree, but yeah. So recently, in case you guys didn't know, Aiden Ross, who's a popular streamer on Twitch, hosted I guess like a podcast with xQc, Andrew Tate, Los Pollos TV, Trainwrecks TV, and I think Your Rage. If you didn't know most of those names, that's totally fine. You only really need to know xQc, Andrew Tate, and Aiden Ross, as these are the three people on screen for most of the time. But during this podcast, they were talking about a lot of different things that I find very interesting. They were talking about the concept of masculinity and what it means to be a man, and how gender roles play into certain relationships. Now, I want to make this very, very clear before we start. I am going to agree with a lot of what Andrew Tate says in this video, but that does not mean that I agree with everything he says. Now, I feel like that shouldn't have to be said, but when people see somebody agreeing with certain things that Andrew Tate says, they instantly assume that that person who agrees with some things that he says must agree with every take that Andrew Tate ever has. Which is not true. I'm my own independent thinker, and I come to my own conclusions on things. But anyways, I'm making this video just because I have timestamps where I think xQc just sort of makes a fool out of himself. And I wanted to review these specific timestamps in the stream just so I could maybe make an argument against xQc, because I did find myself disagreeing with a lot of what xQc was saying. And just so you know, I've been a long-time fan of xQc. I've watched him since like 2017 when he was playing Overwatch. So if you think that I'm just, you know, stumbling across xQc and just shitting on him out of the blue, you're wrong. But the first thing that xQc said that I wanted to respond to is xQc does not believe that in a relationship, the man has a duty to protect his woman from harm.
It's not, I'm changing the question because your answers are stupid, so I'm doing
bro.
Your answers are stupid, bro, because everyone knows that you have a duty to protect your woman, and you're pretending you don't.
I don't agree. Not even a little bit, bro.
Well, then perhaps you are a coward, but let me give you the last chance.
Okay, so right there, Andrew says, everybody knows that you have a duty to protect your woman, and I obviously agree with this. Now, I don't know how many of you guys are in relationships, and if you're not, I feel like you can still agree with this take. But let's say you're at the club with your girlfriend, right? And then a guy approaches your girlfriend, not knowing that she's taken, and he asks her out. He then gets rejected, obviously, because that's your girlfriend and she's not single, and then that makes him very upset to the point where he's gonna, like, yell at your girlfriend and maybe start getting physical, you know? Like, push her around or something. If you see your girlfriend getting pushed around at the club, you don't just stand there. You approach this guy and confront him, because it is your job as the man to protect your female from danger, and in this case, that guy at the club is the danger, and you must protect her from it. I don't see at all how this is a hot take. Like, I genuinely have no clue how some people think this is a controversial thing to say. Am I supposed to just stand there and say, oh, no, she's a strong, independent woman, she can fight for herself? No. Men and women are literally genetically designed to be different. Men are genetically designed to be stronger. And that puts us in a position to defend those who are not genetically predisposed to strength. So when Andrew says everybody knows that you have a duty to protect your woman as a man, I found it very off-putting when xQc said, I don't agree with that, not even a little bit. Now, I don't know if he was disagreeing just to, you know, be a contrarian and just, you know, disagree for the point of disagreeing, but that just seems like one of the worst takes to have. Does xQc just think that girls don't want guys who would stick up for them? Has xQc been on the internet too long to the point where he's not able to comprehend what actually being a human being is? Now, this might seem like I'm going hard on xQc, but you have to understand, like, I do like him. I like his content. I think he's a funny guy. But his take is so delusional that I couldn't not pick up the mic and at least criticize it.
Smart thing, the analytical thing, the strategic thing, we can both survive. If I go down, not only am I jeopardizing myself, I am jeopardizing both of us by not being smart and a leader in that regard. We are even more in danger if I go down than if I not go down.
You're hiding though. You're hiding.
So?
Like, you gotta try to protect your girl.
What?
So in that clip that I just played, xQc was given the hypothetical that if 3 men broke into his house in the middle of the night, and he was upstairs with his girlfriend, who would go downstairs to deal with this threat? In this example, the men intruding did not have firearms, so I just failed to understand the logic of staying upstairs and finding a place to hide with your girlfriend, rather than like, I don't know, getting a baseball bat, a book, literally any item in your room, taking it with you downstairs, sneaking up behind this guy, and like throwing it at him. I have an Amazon Alexa in my room, and if I threw this at an intruder without them knowing where I was, like I essentially just yeet this Alexa, it goes super fast and, you know, gives this guy concussion, we're not taking an L. I would rather put up a fight against 3 unarmed intruders that don't know my house the same way that I do. Like I'm essentially getting a boost based on map knowledge. They won't know where I'm coming from, so I essentially get the first hit for free. I just think the odds are in my favor, right? So why would I rather stay upstairs and hide with my girlfriend and let these 3 guys steal potentially like, I don't know, like thousands of dollars worth of my shit, when instead I can literally just grow a pair of balls and try to put up a fight?
Somebody has to deal with the threat and engage. If someone did, between you and your female partner, who would be the person who decides to deal with the threat? You or the girl?
Yeah, it's really whoever can have the best outcome of fixing that with it can be even both at the same time.
So far, this is the best argument that I've heard from xQc. I don't agree with it, and I'll explain why, but it's a decent argument. He's basically saying that if 3 intruders broke into his house, he wouldn't specifically send himself downstairs to deal with it, or his girlfriend. He would consider who would be best at dealing with the situation before making that decision. So if he thought that his girlfriend was a better fighter, or like, for example, if she went to like MMA boxing lessons, if he thought that his girlfriend had a higher chance of beating these guys' asses than he did, he would rather his girlfriend go downstairs. So this is a decent argument, because if you think about it, yeah, there might be a higher chance of your girlfriend beating these guys' asses, especially if your girlfriend trains in a gym and is physically fit and strong. But I still strongly disagree with this take, and I'll explain why. Let's say with her going down there and fighting these guys, there's a 20% chance that she loses and gets beaten up, and there's an 80% chance that she wins. But when I go down there, let's say it's a 60% chance that I win and a 40% chance that I lose. Yes, statistically, it would make more sense for me to send my girlfriend down there if the goal is to win and to beat up these intruders. But hear me out. I would rather have a 40% chance of getting my ass beat and a lower chance of winning the fight than even risking having my girlfriend getting beat up. And I understand if you guys disagree with this, right? But if my girlfriend goes downstairs and she does get beat up, right? Even though there was only a 20% chance of it happening, I would not be able to live with myself. I would think, why did you let that happen? Why would you put your girl in harm's way like that? I would feel like a failure. I would feel like I've let her down. I would expect a call from her dad saying, why didn't you protect my daughter? Like, think about that for a second. If her dad is on the phone yelling at me, why didn't you protect my daughter, right? You're supposed to make sure she's safe. How do you think he would feel if I responded with, well, statistically, there was a better chance of her winning the fight? Bro, he would probably drive over to my house and beat me up personally. At the end of the day, this simply comes down to the question of who would you rather get beat up, right? You or your girlfriend? And of course, every single time I'm gonna say me. Now, I want to hear what you guys think about that take. If you disagree, you can tell me why in the comments, but I think it's actually an interesting discussion to have.
Or the fact that when push comes to shove and we end up in unfortunate situations, a man has a duty to protect his female. That's intrinsic, that's evolutionary, that's something we were hardwired with, it's something that society has always built into men until recent times. What you're saying now may be fine. If 30 years ago a dude said, I won't go downstairs and I'll tell my woman and we're just both going to hide here together, he would have been mocked forever. That's insanity. Somebody has to engage, and it's the man's job. Just like the men stay on the Titanic, the men go to fight. That's a man's imperative. And I don't care. Doesn't matter that I can fight. If I'm outnumbered 10-1 and they have machetes and I'm going to lose, fine. No one's going to my chick without me trying. That is my masculine imperative and my duty as a man.
Yeah, so I guess to sum up my take in one sentence, I don't want my girlfriend to have to fight unless, you know, she has to. Meaning that I don't want her to be in harm's way unless it is absolutely necessary.
So what we've learned from me asking this question is that you, and this is not an insult, I think you'd agree with me saying this, you have no intrinsic desire, no intrinsic duty or intrinsic innate responsibility to protect your female in any regard. That when the Titanic was sinking, no one was sitting there going, who's a better swimmer, you or me? Who's better in the cold? Well, you know what, chick, you know what, you're a better swimmer than me, so if I get on the lifeboat because you're a better swimmer, that's bullshit. You're a man and you fucking die.
The Titanic example is completely correct, and you're right, Tate. In the Titanic example, okay, there is no swimming. Whoever goes in the lifeboat survives. Whoever does not dies. As a man, our duty, yes, everyone, because the water is so fucking freezing, you will die. So whoever's in the boat survives. Okay, that's a fact. You can't deny the fact. It's a fact. So yes, you're right. As a man, we sacrifice as a protective duty, as the rules say, for old-time honor. We die, the children and the females survive. You're right.
But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. I think that there's a lot of validity to both sides, like genuinely. I don't think either side is like crazy or totally wrong. I think you can make a good case, honestly, for either side. I've given my opinions here. But yeah, click one of the videos on screen now to be transported to a brand new video of mine. Comment down camera if you made it to the end of the video, and I'll try to heart your comment. Big thanks to all my channel members, as always. You guys rock, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.